Hello my friends, today we are going to learn the forehand stroke. This is the forehand of ex-number 1 in the world, Karol Woźniacki. And if you want to learn something quickly, you need to have a goal. Our goal will be that after 20 hours of deliberate practice, you are going to play tennis using her technique. Of course, you are not going to play at her level. For that you would need to spend thousands of hours on the tennis court. But after 20 hours, you are going to have an exchange using her technique. I have chosen her instead of Federer or Nadal because as a beginner player, there's no way that you can copy and emulate Federer or Nadal. It wouldn't work. We need to have set the goals that are possible just to realize. Just to learn things faster, the first 6-7 hours we are going to spend outside of the tennis court just to learn the movements, to create automatisms and to override some instincts, because as a beginner player, if you follow your gut feeling, it doesn't work well. Usually you will tighten up your wrist, you will just use the muscles and you will use your dominant arm to hit the ball. But in reality, the more relaxed you are, the more you let it go, the more you release, the better tennis player you are. I chose this scenery because I want you to think of tennis as yoga or Tai Chi, as a mind-body exercise. Okay, let's start. I'm going to explain all components of the forehand stroke. Then we are going to put everything together just to create the smooth, the effortless, and the continuous movement. The first element is how to hold the racket. Keep the racket with your left hand in front of you, then place your right palm on the strings and then slide it down. When you get to the bottom of the handle, just hold the racket, but hold it as lightly as possible. Don't squeeze the racket. And place your fingers in this position, especially the index finger needs to be a little bit higher on the handle in this position. You keep the racket in front in the neutral position. The racket will be tilted a little bit to the left side. And the next element is the ready position. So that's the time before your opponent hits the ball. You don't want to await the incoming ball in this position. That's not good. You need to be ready to push off in each direction very quickly. So you need to stay in the wide base, which means that when I am 6 feet tall on the court, I need to be 1 foot lower. So you are going to stay wide on your feet, more or less 2 shoulder widths apart. Your knees are going to be bent and your body tilted forward. So this is the ready position. And one important thing, before your opponent hits the ball, a split of a second before, you are going to do the split step. So after that, you will be ready to react very quickly to in each direction. And when you hit the ball, you return with the side step and you do the split step. This is a very important part of tennis. Okay, the next thing, how to react when the ball is coming to your forehand and to the backhand side. You stay in the middle because you don't know if the ball is coming to your right side, to your forehand side, or to the left side, to your backhand side. I'm going to teach you the one-handed forehand and I'm going to teach you the double-handed backhand. As soon as you realize the ball is coming to your forehand side, you need to turn the shoulders. In this way, the left heel is coming off the ground. A common mistake of a beginner player is that he or she is moving on the court with the racket head pointing forward. This is a huge mistake. In the first automatism, you need to turn your shoulders. You turn your shoulders in a way that the left hand is going with the racket until this position, then it pushes the racket a little bit backwards. So that's how it needs to be done. Before we go any further, I just want you to learn how to react when the ball is coming to your backhand side. You need to turn your shoulders as well, but you don't want to have the racket in this position. The racket needs to be in this position. Because of that, you need to twist the racket to this position when the V between the thumb and the index finger is at the top of the racket. Initially it's on this side, and you twist the racket to the continental grip. At the same time you join your hands and you turn your shoulders. That needs to be done in the same time. And you get to the position when the racket head will be higher than the grip level. The racket will be in the vertical position and will be pointing to the other side. Let's practice that for a while. Forehand, backhand. The next element of the forehand. When you push the racket with your left hand a little bit, the racket is having this energy. Yeah. The racket, if you release the racket would go a little bit backwards, and then it would eventually fall. And you need to get to this position because you want to have the racket which will be lower than the grip level and lower than the contact point, because you need to go from the low to the high. You need to get to this handshake position, but you don't want to force this movement using your muscles like that. You need to use this energy, the momentum of the racket. You let the racket extend your elbow, and you let the racket put your palm in this position. That is lower, it's called the ulnar deviation position. You can also think that you are going to give a handshake to someone who is behind. But very important, you maintain the space between the elbow and the body. Don't do the movement like that. Don't put the elbow to the body, because after that it's very uncomfortable position just to hit the forehand. You need to maintain the space between the elbow and the body. But look at Karolina Wozniacki, what is actually going on when the racket is going down. At the same time, she separates her arms. The racket is going down and she separates her arms. And finally she's going to this position. When the racket will be still a little bit higher than the grip level, finally it will fall here. But in this position she releases the stroke. It means that she's pushing off her right leg and she's rotating the hips. That's how the stroke is released. Let's do some exercises for your lower body. The first exercise, rotate your hips. The second exercise, just stay in the ready position and move your left foot in this way. The third exercise, just step a little bit with your left foot and then rotate your shoulders and your hips, and then push off your right leg and rotate your hips in a dynamic way. Very slowly load and then explode with your right leg and with your hips. The next exercise, pass the ball to your partner, but don't throw it with your dominant hand, but simply rotate your body. You are pushing off your right leg and you are rotating your body in this way. The other variation, you turn your shoulders, you step in with your left leg, and then you rotate your shoulders. You transfer the weight of the body from the back foot to the front foot. So that's another variation. There's also one important thing. When you see Karolina Wozniacki, when she releases the stroke from this position, she is pushing off her right leg, she's rotating her hips, but the upper body is still not moving. And so in this split of a second, the racket will finally get to this position, and then the upper body receives this energy and it's going to the contact point. This is called the kinetic chain, because you don't want to rotate your body as a unit. You need to learn to separate the lower and the upper body rotation. It's not so difficult, just do this exercise. Stay in the ready position, then turn your hips, then turn more your shoulders, and then first turn your hips, and then the shoulders are in the last. One more time, the hips, the shoulders, and when you return, the hips and the shoulders. So this is the kinetic chain, that the upper body receives this energy from the lower body, and that creates the rotation speed, and finally the racket head speed. Okay, when we know that, let's put everything together. You stay in the ready position, then you realize the ball is coming to your forehand side. You rotate your shoulders, you let the racket go down, you separate your arms. In this position, you push off your right leg and you rotate your hips. There's a speed of a second. The racket will get finally to this position where it will be lower than the contact point. And then the upper body receives this energy and you get to the contact point. You use this index finger to raise the racket a little bit so that in the contact point it will be in the horizontal position. You don't want to hit the ball with the racket in this position. And then finally, after you drive through the contact point, then the racket is getting to this position, so it's almost in the same position how it started, and then you terminate on the other side of your shoulders. So this the movement of the racket after the contact point is called the follow through. It's very important. Don't stop the movement at the contact point. Okay, let's practice that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now the next goal will be to do this movement, but in a smooth and in the continuous way. For that, let's do the exercise just to learn that at the contact point the racket is driving through the ball. You are not going to do anything with your wrist. No this, neither this, nor this, nor this movement. The racket is simply driving through the ball. And finally, you get to this position. Yeah. At the beach, you can do that by throwing the racket forward, and in this position you release the racket when the racket is pointing forward and your wrist is in the neutral position. You might actually question that what I said to you, because I told you that in this position you start the stroke and you terminate here, and you are not going to do anything with your wrist. But you can say, how come? Here the racket is lagging behind and here the racket is in the alignment with the forearm. It means that you need to do this movement. No way, it's not happening. The only thing is that you let it go and you are relaxed. You need to let the wrist go by the law of the physics. Here, you don't want to lock your wrist and play tennis like that. That would be a huge technical mistake. You let the wrist go behind, go to this extension position, and when you go forward, by the law of physics, the racket will accelerate more than the forearm. And finally, in the natural way, you will get to this alignment, the racket, the wrist, and the forearm. Okay, let's try to do a smooth stroke without stopping. Allez. Very nice, Jesus. So right now you are ready to hit the balls finally on the tennis court, and your progress will be done in 4 stages. The first stage I will feed you the balls, which will be very easy. You won't need to run, so the balls will be on your side. The next stage will be I will feed you the balls, but you will need to move on, forward, backwards, to the right, to the left side. And finally we are going to do an exchange, but still I will try to pass you the balls that will be comfortable to you. And the last stage that we are going to play a competitive game. Do you like the idea?
Yes.
Okay, let's start. I will feed you the ball, so the only thing that you need to do is just to step out. You don't need to move. Yeah, just try to do that in this way. You need to do that in the rhythm. When the ball is coming here, so when it bounces off, you need to be in this position. Let's do it in the rhythm with the ball. Here, you go back, here, wait, and then when it's going up, you are going down and you hit the ball. Yeah? Just let's try to do that. That's it. Very nice. Very nice. I like that. You are going all the body around. It's a perfect shot. Very nice. Congratulations, Jesus. So that was an excellent job, the way how you produced the forehand stroke. But now the task will be much more difficult, because right now I'm going to feed you the ball that will not be in the place where you stay. So you need to go forward, backwards, to the right and to the left side. Let me explain. When the ball is relatively close to you, use these steps. Don't cross your feet. But when the ball is far away from you, for example here, so then going like that, it is not an efficient way. So if the ball is far away, you need to cross over, yes? So then you go like that. But when the ball is close, we are going to move like that, using this wide base, and then we are going to hit the ball. You understand? Okay. That's it. That's it. Very nice. I like that. I like this movement of your wrist going up. Very nice. Very nice. I like the movement. Yeah, you need to move like that. Very good. Excellent job, excellent performance, Jesus. You did it very well with these 2 stages. And now we are going to do an exchange. So that will be much more difficult, because the balls hit by the racket will be much faster. So the balls are faster, you need to be in the rhythm with the balls, you need to be faster as well. So the rule is that when the balls are more or less in your area, you move this way. When the balls are far away, you need to cross your feet. Are you ready to do an exchange? Would you like to do an exchange? Okay, let's start. Okay, Jesus, excellent job. And so finally, you can have a match. Are you going to play with this guy?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So the final stage. So that will be the most difficult thing because he will try to place you the balls as difficult as possible. But you are going to manage that. Okay. Good luck. Eso. Bueno. Eso, eso. Okay, that was everything. All elements of the forehand stroke. I hope that you can create the effortless, smooth and continuous forehand stroke. Thank you very much.